On October 17th, 1975, Stephen King released his second ever novel, Salem's Lot. So today, on October 17th, 2025, we take a look at Salem's Lot once again to see how much its legacy has held up over the past 50 years. Happy anniversary, Salem's Lot. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be looking at the legacy of Salem's Lot. So, this one kind of came out of nowhere just a little bit for me, because usually when I know that a book's whatever anniversary is coming up, I usually am counting up the days so that I can make a video either ahead of time or whatever, and so that I can post it on that day. But this one actually caught me by surprise, because I did know that Salem's Lot came out on October 17th, 1975, and so I knew that the 50th anniversary was coming up today. But, life just got in the way, and so when it was actually the 17th, which was today, I just kind of got caught off guard by it. In fact, I looked at Instagram early this morning, and then I saw a post saying, happy 50th anniversary, Salem's Lot. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it is the 50th anniversary. Oh, man. So then, now I'm kind of rushing out to make this video. But, yeah. Anyway, Salem's Lot is a great book. And so for this video, I'm just going to kind of be talking about its legacy, what it means to me, and what it means to a lot of Stephen King fans over the last 50 years. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. So for starters, I want to start talking about the book itself, because without the book, we wouldn't have anything else about it. So, of course, Salem's Lot was published on October 17th, 1975 by Stephen King. It was his second novel that he ever released, after Carrie came out on April 5th, 1974, the year before, which I also did a 50th anniversary on that, by the way, just so you know, and a 100th of The Great Gatsby. But anyway, so yeah, Salem's Lot was Stephen King's second book. He was still very new to the horror genre. But even though this was such a, young book for him, this was one of the first things he ever published, it is still so good today. I can't even just describe how good it is. Go watch my review for it if you haven't already. But Salem's Lot is just a great book. Basically, it's about this writer returning to his hometown so he can write a book. But he soon realizes that his hometown, Jerusalem's Lot, sometimes shortened to Salem's Lot, has been overtaken by vampires, and so the survivors of the city kind of have to figure out what's going on and how to stop the vampires. So, kind of basic story, but don't let that fool you. It's actually just incredible. And so basically this book, at least this edition that I have, I don't know, it's about 638 pages or 639 pages, so it is a bit of a read, but then again, my copy has words like this that are pretty, big and stuff. Sorry if you saw any language in there, by the way, just turned a random page. But anyway, so yeah, the book is just absolutely incredible, and even at 50, it still holds up massively. I will not say this. It definitely has held up. It definitely has held up, and it does not show its age at all. Maybe a smidge, but for the most part, it does not show its age at all. But yeah, overall, Salem's Lot is just an incredible book. And another interesting thing is that because Carrie is kind of on it in its off little universe, Salem's Lot was the first book that Stephen King wrote that takes place in the main universe that he writes in. Because Father Callahan, he becomes a prominent character in The Dark Tower later on. And then we reference Jerusalem's Lot in a couple other books. I don't quite remember which one they are. But so all of It and the Tommyknockers and the Dead Zone and Cujo and Needful Things and even Rose Madder and Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's Game and all that. They all take place in the same universe, and it all started with this book, which is kind of incredible if you think about it. So, yeah. Anyway, please go read the book if you have not, because it is just absolutely incredible, and you will not be disappointed for a 50-year-old book. All right, and so the next item I want to discuss kind of just further contributes to Salem's Lot legacy, but I want to talk about the adaptations that were made from it. So, as of filming this, there have been 4 adaptations of Salem's Lot, which is the original 79 miniseries, the 87 sequel, A Return to Salem's Lot, to the 79 miniseries, a 2004 miniseries, and the most recent one, last year's Salem's Lot. And so all these movies vary in quality. If you ask me, I think both miniseries are just incredible. The 79 one is, of course, very atmospheric and very iconic for a lot of different reasons. And then the 2004 miniseries, while not as iconic, it's just slightly more accurate to the book, which I approve of. So I'd probably say that's my favorite one. And then A Return to Salem's Lot that came out in 87, it's just not good. It's not trying to be good, and I tried to see the good parts about it, but it is just not good at all. But anyway, yeah, it's also just a bunch of clickbait because they put Kurt Barlow on the cover, but if you know how the 79 miniseries ended, you would know that shouldn't be possible. So they're just not even trying anymore. I've realized. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, go watch A Return to Salem's Lot if you want to, but it's just not that good. And then, of course, that brings us to the new movie, which I was actually very much looking forward to. In fact, the first reason I read Salem's Lot in the first place, back in 2023, was to prepare for the new movie, which at the time was coming out in April of 2023. Anyway, long story short, April happened, and no Salem's Lot. So then I was just kind of confused, and I was still waiting for a release date and whatever. And then finally last year, they released it in October, and so I read the book again to prepare for the movie again. And long story short, the movie was okay. It just wasn't great. So, I mean, there was still stuff I liked about it, but for the most part, it just kind of really rushed through the whole story. It wasn't even 3 hours like the miniseries were, so it couldn't tell really the whole story. So yeah, it was just kind of disappointing, but it was okay, I guess. But yeah, so those are the adaptations, of course, all varying in quality. But the fact that Salem's Lot has 4 adaptations, which, mind you, is tied with Carrie for the most adaptations at 4, I think that goes to show how much Salem's Lot has endured over the past 50 years, if it has that many adaptations. But yeah, so go watch the adaptations, I guess. So anyway, that brings us back to the whole point of this video. Has Salem's Lot aged at all, and has it endured through 50 years? And obviously my answer is yes. It has aged a little bit, but it's still very, good, very well written, and very scary, you could say. 50 years on, it is such a phenomenal book. It's actually my 5th favorite Stephen King book, but if you saw my massively popular video about me ranking my top 10 Stephen King books, you of course know this already, but for anyone new, it's my 5th favorite because it's just very good. Also, another thing I will mention is that The Shining is Stephen King's most sold book, Carrie is the 2nd most, and then Salem's Lot is the 3rd most. So again, that should just kind of say the quality of it right here. But anyway, so yeah, in conclusion, I think Salem's Lot, while 50 years old now, it is just very much still very good all these years later. And I love reading it. It is just a breeze to blow through. It is a fantastic book, and I could not recommend a better start to Stephen King. Well, actually, I could. It's Carrie. But if you want to be introduced to Stephen King's main world of horror, Salem's Lot is the best place to do it. So please go read Salem's Lot if you have not, because it will change your life like it did mine. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video for my retrospective of Salem's Lot. The book is at 50 years old, but it is still so good, and I just don't think it's really aged all that horribly. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let me know your thoughts on Salem's Lot, because I would just love to hear what you think about this phenomenal book. Sorry, turning 50 years old. But yeah, anyway, as I said, that's the end of the video. Happy 50th anniversary, Salem's Lot, and here's to 50 more.